I know we have some people coming in, and maybe the academy, a whole group of students in a room, and that Mahia and Mark Gaskin doing the sister who came in, Evelyn, while we were finishing up.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm going to check on her. Okay. I'm also in the other room, the 201-23456. So if anybody comes there, I will direct them
Fantastic.
here. Okay.
That academy, I think, is Mama Joy.
Okay, great. All right. So let me see if I can get her.
All right.
Excellent.
Good to see you, IA students, providing support. All right.
All right, I'm going to get started. Welcome everyone from the East Coast, from the West Coast, and everywhere in between. I am Ayodele Duduyemi. I would like to welcome all of you to a Warrior Healer online boot camp. This is step 2. This is hosted by Kibole Bole Educational Institute. And if you were following us, you know step 1 was about the trailer. Step 2 is going to be about the movie. So we're going to do a review and response of the Harriet movie. The review and response is going to be led by Ayodele Duduyemi. She's a student of IA Educational Institute and Kibole Bole Educational Institute. And she's going to be talking to you today about the movie. I would like for everyone online, I would like to remind everyone, if you didn't hear Mom Evelyn, we are recording this particular event, and that recording will be placed on YouTube.
Bluetooth mode.
Excellent. And I also want to say that, spoiler alert, for those of you who haven't actually seen the movie, the Ayodele will be discussing some of the events in the movie. So if you plan on going to see the movie later, this is my spoiler alert and warning for those particular movie-related things. So if you were coming in right about now, Mama Evelyn had a screen that is no longer up. It asked everyone coming in to put in their name, their email address. If you could please put that in the text chat if you haven't already. And I'm going to let Ayodele with the presentation.
All right, before we do that, greetings, Anissa, I think. If you could just mute your mic for the moment, that would be fantastic. Also, while they're doing that, again, so like Baba said, it's going to be on YouTube. So students, right, right, if your face is allowed to be on YouTube or not, right? And so if it's not, then go ahead and turn off your camera now, okay? All right. All right, go ahead, Ayo.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is my presentation on the Harriet Tubman movie, Reflection and Response. As my parents mentioned earlier, I go to IA Educational Institute and Kibole Bole Educational Institute. I am 13 years old in the 8th grade, and most of the information that I'll be telling you today, I got from IA Educational Institute. So a couple weeks ago, I believe, we did a review of the Harriet Tubman trailer, and we did like what we liked, we didn't like about it. So we're and a bunch of other stuff. So we're basically going to be doing the same thing with the movie. So now I'd like to invite you all to say what some things that you liked about the movie, if you have seen it. No, we'll move on. Okay, has anybody seen the movie?
Though I have not seen it, I am looking forward to seeing it.
We've seen it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ayodele, just 1 second if you can. I just gave the link to a group of students at the Village Method Academy. and it's a whole classroom of them. And so we'll just, if you can hold on just a minute.
Okay, no problem.
Ayodele, while we did you introduce yourself?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell them what classes and you have learned, or you've taken, you know, at Aya or Kibuli about Araminta?
Oh, no, I did not do that.
Really?
I took the following Araminta class and the countering injected racial scripts class. Yeah, that's what it's called. I took those two classes, and that's I kind of joined them together. Or I actually did that in like Guardian and whatnot. And so that's how I learned the story and the scripts all at once.
Very good. Mama Mahia?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. I hope they can see the person who was just talking is Ayodele. And yes, so now we're going to be seeing this group of students from the Village Method.
Can you see them?
We can see them. If you put it down a little bit, angle it down just a little bit, very good. We can see them. And
Y'all can say hello.
and how about Mama Mahia, just introduce the group generally, not one by one, but who are we looking at?
Well, we are looking at scholars from California. We are scholars in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade from the Village Method, a little town called Union City, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area. We have another classroom that's joining also, Miss Tajiana's class. I gave them the wrong link. From the same town, same class, same group, they're just in another classroom on campus.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Ayodele, please forgive me. And they're not going to be able to stay the whole time. It's 4 o'clock, 4:12 their time. So, all right, continue, my dear.
Okay, so has anybody seen the movie, the Harriet Tubman movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw it.
Anyone else? No? Okay. So I guess we'll move on.
Well, so there are a couple people who've seen it, right? Let me get a couple of people, right? So you could tell us what you liked, you know, about the movie. Those who've seen it.
I liked everything.
Any specific thing?
Favorite everything. Out of everything, what was your favorite?
I liked one of the scenes at the end where she stood up for herself and shot the white guy in the hand.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. So you like that scene where Araminta shot the white guy in the hand. Anybody else?
I see some people in the classroom raising their hands, or they're just stretching, I don't know.
I like the part where she told the man where you can't stop me. I can
Okay, I think I heard that one. You like the part where she said, "You can't stop me."
Yes.
I'm going. You can't stop me. All right.
Okay.
Nadia?
Oh yeah, I like the many parts when she kept walking in slaves that were not
She said she liked the where she would walk into William Steele's office, the different slaves, like every time, and come back with more enslaved people.
Fantastic.
Oh, okay.
We're having trouble hearing the people who just spoke. It's kind of low, so Mama Evelyn, it's great that you're repeating what they say because it's very hard to hear.
Great. As I will continue that as we hear from that group. All right, you can go ahead, Ayo.
Okay. So here are some of the things that I like. I like that her parents and the Reverend helped people get on their way to the north, or like held them in their house and hid them until Harriet Tubman was able to come and get them. I like that the Reverend and her father gave her advice, both different advice, but also helpful in order to get her to the north. And I also like that they both believed in her when she was first going by herself. Okay. Now, is there anything about the movie that you would change? If you were the one producing, writing, or making the movie, is there any scene, anything that you would take out, anything that you would change? Um, Anybody can go.
I see three hands from the village method. Okay. 1, 2, 3 hands. Okay, can y'all say, and Mama Mahia, can you repeat into the microphone what they say?
Nevaeh, go ahead. Okay. Nevaeh said that one part that she would change is to not step on her head or not show stepping on her head when they stepped on Janelle Monáe's character's head. Did you all hear that?
Yes, we did.
All right, now one of the things that we do at our Education Institute, particularly on these spaces, is when somebody says something, we don't just let them hang, you go, mo, okay? You indicate that you heard it, you're with them, you know, you acknowledge what they said. Doesn't mean you agree with it, okay? Because we're trying to make sure we can hear each other and have that good communication. So everybody, y'all know that, right? Mo.
Mo.
No.
All right.
Mo.
All right, for those at the Village Academy, mo means good speech, well said. I hear you. Mo. All right, and y'all can jump into the process as well. So whenever somebody makes a comment, you affirm that comment, okay? That they have made it. All right. So would you? Very good. I see your other class from the Village Method. Okay, excellent, excellent. All right, so there's some more hands. Let's hear them.
Adding on to what she said about stepping on the head, I didn't like how they mirrored a black person doing it, although it was black. It was someone.
So Christian said that he also didn't like the part where the bounty hunter stepped on her head, and also didn't like that there was a black man portraying that role when it wasn't really like that, or it wasn't like that at all during that time.
Mo.
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 No.
Mo.
Nadia, go ahead, Nadia.
Okay, so one part I would change in the movie would be the part where Harriet Tubman had the chance to shoot the
captor.
I wish that she would have. I wish that she did that because.
Nadia said that she would change the part where Harriet was about to shoot the man and only in his hand. She preferred if Harriet killed him in that moment.
Mo.
Any other people want to share things that they want to change or don't like?
Well, since the other class came in, is it okay if we open up Ayodele for them to say anything they either liked or they would have done differently, so that both of those things can be going on since we have some new students? Is that okay, Ayodele?
Yes, that's okay.
So for your class, Tatiana, excuse me, anything, ask them, is there anything that, if any of those who saw the movie, that they liked about the movie? or anything that they would have changed?
I like the part when the guy was about to shoot her, and then the guy shot him, and then she chased him around, and she took his gun and stuff. She shot his man. She could have shot him.
So Tajiana, you're going to have to interpret because they're far away from the mic. We can see them,
Okay.
but you have to repeat what they said so that everybody can hear.
Okay. So he said that he liked the part where she was about to shoot him, but she decided not to. That was the part that he liked.
Okay. Very good.
Mo.
Mo.
No.
Mo.
Anyone else?
There's one more. Hold on.
Okay.
While we're waiting on that person, Ayodele, you know we like call Aya students out. So you got some of your classmates here who said they saw it. So
I was trying not to do that.
Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's just the Aya way. So there's Barack said what he liked. Barack, is there anything you would have done differently?
I would have changed the scene where the black bounty hunter stepped on the woman's head.
How would you have changed it?
I just would have cut that scene out.
Mo.
No.
Good, Tajana, you got it? Okay, Ayodele, she'll let us know. You can keep going.
Okay. Okay, so the thing that I would have done differently is similar to what all of you guys said. I would have not shown Bigger Long killing Maria to get closer to Harriet Tubman or to in the process of trying to find out where she was. And for those of you who don't know, Araminta is the same person, Harriet Tubman. It's just that Araminta was the name given to her by her mother when she was born. She took on Harriet Tubman after she became free or got to the north. And
that part is not true. She took that name on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said it, so I can't let you just. She took the name on. That's right. But you gonna clean that up later on? Or you want me to do it?
I kind of forgot that part in a way.
Okay.
So could you please do that?
She did take that name on, but she took that name on before she married John Tubman, not after she got to freedom. But the movie took some liberty with that. That's okay.
Okay. Yes, now I remember that part. And also the character Bigger Long, there was no Bigger Long in real life. That was a completely made up character. So yes, moving on. Now here are some things that kind of were true, which means that I learned them in the warrior healer builder story of Araminta, and I also saw these things in the movie. The fact that the Europeans use the Bible in their favor, or the things in the Bible in their favor, so that they would be able to say, if you didn't do what the captor said, or ran away, then once you passed, you would be sent to hell. Another thing that I guess was true is that she prayed for the captor to die at some point, which she did, but that's a part of a whole list of prayers that I will be telling you later. Black people helped her every step of the way of getting to the north. So like when she's leaving the plantation, her father and the reverend in the middle-ish, when she's like away from the plantation but not in the north, and when she gets to the north, and that Black people understood the underlying meaning of the songs that she sung. So when she's leaving the plantation, she starts singing a song, and everybody else starts singing that song to kind of cover up for her, because they know that she's about to leave.
Mo.
Mo.
Another thing is the gun. They show her at some point in the movie. They show her pointing the gun at her brother to try to get him from like going the other direction or going back to the plantation. And the gun primarily was not for us. It was for people and white people who were trying to take her and the people she was traveling with back to the plantations. And that doesn't mean that occasionally, maybe, possibly, she had to remind somebody that it wasn't, at this point, it wasn't safe for them to go back, not only because they wouldn't be safe, but because the rest of them would possibly not be safe.
Mo.
Also, all the people who were running with Araminta were prepared to go. So she didn't have to point a gun at very many people at all. They were prepared to go, they were ready. And this is an excerpt from a book that says that one contingent composed of 28 men, women, and children.
Hold on. This is Aya. What book? If you need a lifeline, you got people here who can help.
No, I have it in my notes because it's by Earl Conrad. And it's published by Carter G. Woodson. I believe. Yes, so this is from the book that Earl Conrad wrote. And it says that one contingent composed of 28 men, women, and children went heavily armed with revolvers, pistols, sword canes, butcher knives, and other instruments of defense. So,
can I say a little bit about that?
Yes, you can.
Okay, all right. How many of you in the movie remember the character William Steele? Raise your hand if you remember William Steele. Okay. All right, that what you just read was recorded by William Steele. Okay, so you remember he was a person who would record Harriet's story? Well, he recorded that group of people who were sent by Harriet Tubman. She didn't carry that group. So some people she carried, other people she directed. And so she directed this group of 28 African men and women. And that is a direct quote from what he was writing. You saw in the movie when he was writing down, including when he was writing down that she was possibly brain damaged, because he didn't believe what the stories that she was telling. So he would write down, he wrote down that story that you just heard Ayodele, I think that's a good slip, that Ayodele just read. So thank you for that, Ayodele.
Okay.
So too, from the academy, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the village method. Maybe not. Sorry. What is a sword king?
I'm afraid. I appreciate the question. We're gonna let Al run through the presentation, and that for questions like that we'll save toward the end.
Okay, got you. Yeah, it's already in the chat. Thank you.
Okay. So these are some questions that I had after watching the movie. Question 1, did people who actually wanted to be free hide in Araminta's parents' house in the Reverend's church? And the answer to that is yes. Her Araminta's dad actually hid the Dover 8 in his home, and it wasn't uncommon for reverends to be spies for African people because of the things they preached. The white people always believed that they were on their side, so that made it easier for the reverends to do certain things that other Black people may not be able to do. Question 2, were there actually Black captive catchers, and if so, how prominent were they? The answer to that is yes, there were Black captive catchers, and there weren't a lot of them either. And as far as we know, and with all the research that we have done, we have not found anything that says that there was a specific person hunting Araminta specifically. And we do know that there were Black captive catchers because one of the people who was helping the Dover Eight, he was Black, and he ratted them out to the police to get their bounty. And so the Dover Eight were taken to a jail, put on the second floor. And in order to get out of that jail, they set it on fire and jumped out the second story window. And that's when Harriet Tubman's dad comes in and takes them in and kind of helps them out. And once the Europeans catch on that Harriet Tubman's dad might have helped the Dover Eight, that's when he becomes in danger, and that's the scene in the movie where we see her coming back to get her parents. That's why she's coming back, because they're in danger now. And
I'm forgetting now. We gotta make some noise up in here.
and question 3. They kept saying that they wanted Harriet Tubman alive. I heard alive. I want her alive so many times in the movie. And in the story I heard, they always wanted her dead or alive. And the answer to that is yes, they did want her dead or alive. But at first they wanted her alive because she was property to them. But as soon as she started to become a threat because she was getting so many captives to freedom in such large numbers, they decided that, hey, if she's captured, she's brought back here, then she won't be a threat. And if she's killed, then she definitely won't be a threat. So then it turned into dead or alive.
No.
Here are some of the scripts that I saw in the movie. The first is SHG.
What is a script?
Oh, a script. It's things that we're taught or just that are all around us, that are put there by the Europeans to make us believe certain things, so we will do things and think things in their benefit. So these are the scripts: SHG, Superhero Trap; STD, Shame the Devil; MSO, Morality in Service of Oppression; and UBO, Universal Black Orphan. So what is SHG? The Superhero Trap is basically when you know how you like see a superhero in a movie or something, and they're doing things that everyday life people would do, but they're using some type of superpower that allows things to go quicker, or they're doing something and using that superpower in a way that makes you feel like, oh, that's so cool, but I can never do that because I do not have the superpower that does this, this, and this, and so I can do this, this, and this with that superpower. And if you just say, like, this person was a hero, which is a person, ordinary person, doing good and great and extraordinary things, then you may not do those things, but it's not like you know that what they did is not out of your reach, that if you really wanted to or really had to, you could do the things that they did.
No.
The way I saw Superhero Trap portrayed in the movie was they were kind of making her spells seem like her superpower, because every time she had a spell, it was almost like of the future in a way. Her spells showed what could happen or what was ahead or things that were about to happen in a few minutes. So it made it seem like without those spells, you can't do the things that she did or make it as far as she did without having some type of vision of what was about to happen. And so here is a story about her brother. They actually show a bit of this story in the movie, like when she comes back and she thinks she's getting her husband, but she ends up getting her brothers and the woman and the baby. And her brother, one of her brothers, is late. In the actual story, her brother is late, but he's also so late that they leave without him. And just like the movie says, his wife is in labor. So he stays for the labor, The baby is born safe. And they're happy about that, but they're also sad because they know that this baby is most likely for a very long time going to be in captivity. And so his wife, she looks at the baby and then she looks back at him and she says, if you can still make it, then go. And so he goes and gets himself together. He goes to this bush that had an axe with a broken off handle. He sharpens the edge of the axe and then he runs for 40 miles nonstop until he catches up to them. And the trip is like 100 miles. So he almost ran halfway without any type of spells or anything. Now, he is Araminta's brother, so he may have known a little more of how the trip was supposed to go than anybody else, but there was no one else with him, and he had no spells, and he had no superpower-ish type of thing.
No.
Mo.
Next is STD, Shame the Devil. And this script basically kind of convinces us that we're being powerful when we're shaming white people. And it's not that the things that white people do aren't bad, but we feel like when we're calling them out, calling all the bad things that they did out, it makes us feel powerful, but it's also not going to do anything. It's not really going to make them stop doing what they're doing.
Mo.
I see this in the movie when Harriet Tubman, she takes the gun from him after she shot him. She takes the gun from him. And then she throws the gun a few feet away and starts to lecture him about the things that bad things that he's done. As if once she's done and turns around and starts running, that he can't just grab the gun and shoot her. But this is kind of like she thought in the movie, after she's done with the whole lecture, he's kind of just like there, stumped, doesn't really move. And that's like showing that if you shame someone, then they will stop doing what they're doing, or they'll think about it more and stuff. And that just isn't true. And so another story is about this person who ran away from the plantation successfully, got to the north, but by this time they had passed a law that says if you ran away, then the captors could come and get you and then bring you back into captivity. So you really weren't safe in the north still at that time. So he ends up being captured and he's brought to the courthouse. And a lot of Black people are in front of the courthouse protesting, basically saying like, we'll buy his freedom. How much do you want? But you're not sending this person back into captivity. And so Araminta breaks in, she gets him and is fighting to get him out of the courthouse. People are throwing blows. She's throwing blows at them. And once they get that person out of the courthouse, everybody's like, get him across the river. Because once he's across the river, then they'll take him further up north to Canada, I believe. But word had already got to like the police on the other side of the river. So once they crossed, he was arrested and taken to a jail and put on the second floor. And so all the Black people go to the jail, including Araminta. And one Black person, he's big and he's basically hyping everybody up and telling them like they can't kill all of us, we have to do something. And so he breaks down the door and they hit him in the chest with an axe. But he falls in such a way that prevents them from closing the door. And he's big and heavy, and you can't just move a person like that very easily. And so everybody's breaking into the jail. There's shooting going on, and Araminta breaks the person out, and then he's sent further up north. So that was successful.
Mo. And his name is Nail.
Nail.
Charles Nail. You have a question. I don't know. Would you? She's about to get to the place. Ayodele, where you gonna answer the questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So please type your questions in or write them down. She's about to get to where she'll answer your question. Keep going.
Okay. Next is MSO, morality and service of oppression. And this just makes us think that the things that serve the oppressor are things that are things that will make us more moral and most likely to get into heaven. And so I see this in the movie. I noticed that she never, ever, ever, no matter how much danger she's in, never kills anyone. They show her shooting at people, but no one is ever killed by her, and that's because it's not. They say it's not moral to kill anybody. Like, you can defend yourself, but try not to kill anybody as much as you can, or else you have a chance of being sent to hell or something like that. And here is a story about the prayer. Like I said, they show a little bit of this in the movie when she's at the tree and she's praying for the captor to either have a change of heart or to be taken away. But it starts out like this. First, she prays to God to change her and her people because she thought that there was something wrong with her and her people because they were being treated in such a bad way. And then she thinks about that and notices that that was the wrong prayer. And then she goes on to pray that God will fix the white people, that there's something wrong with them because they're being treated in such a bad way. And then she realized that that's not the right prayer either. And then she goes back and she prays, this is the part they show in the movie, for the captor to either have a change of heart or to be taken away. And then she realizes again that that is not the right prayer. And then finally, she prays that God will get behind her guide her so that she can do whatever she needs to do to free her people and get her people out of captivity.
Mo.
And next is UBO, Universal Black Orphan. And Universal Black Orphan is like when they're showing this particular person not have any family, community, culture, and just being like alone doing what they're doing. And they actually did a pretty good job not showing UBO in the movie. They showed her family, they showed her community, they also showed her culture with the songs. So I'm proud of I'm proud of them for showing all of that in the movie because it's very, very important. And if you would like to learn this story, you can go ahead and become a Tubman Teller. The next events, I guess, will be on the 23rd, I believe. And if you're 16 or younger, you can get half off, and that will be taught by Ajo Kessa. And if you want to learn more, you can go to ayaed.com/Tutman.
Mo. All right.
I'd like to thank
You're not done yet. You got a ton of questions.
That's right.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank all of you for coming, and especially the ones of you who donated. And if you want to donate, you can send it to my mom's PayPal, which is on the screen, because I currently do not have my own. So I will now stop my share, and we can go on with the questions.
All right. Early on, we had a question from the Academy, and they asked, what are sword canes? The airmen that carried a bunch of weapons, including a sword cane?
I actually have no idea. I've heard it several times. Kennedy has the answer, I believe. Maybe, possibly.
Yes, I believe sword cans are like a smaller type of sword that is encased in like an ivory bone. There's type of swords that are encased in something, like long swords, I believe, not just in its case, but like molded with a ivory bone into it, and it goes into it. I believe that's what I remember. Sword cane is.
Mo, mo.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
she's right. Thank you, Kennedy.
That's right. So you take it, slide it out, and do what you got to do.
All right. What was the next question? The next question was, what was the name of the book? You already answered this, but maybe again for everybody. What was the name of the book that that the quote came from that you've been using?
The name of the book is Harriet Tubman by Earl Conrad, published by Carter G. Woodson.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Let me say a little bit about that. I think it's important for those students. How many of you know the name Carter G. Woodson? Anybody? Okay, I see some hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. If your camera is blocked, I can't see your face. So several of you know who Carter G. Woodson is. He was a great African historian. And he started something called the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And that also became a publishing company. And so this Black man is the one who published that book. And this book by Earl Conrad was written so that no white people would publish this book. And so he depended on Carter G. Woodson to publish the book. And of course, Carter G. Woodson wouldn't have published the book had he not both assisted him and also if he disagreed with what he was putting there. So just remember two names. Earl Conrad was the writer of the book. He's a white man. And he was assisted by, and his book was published by Carter G. Woodson. I actually do have a copy of a letter where Conrad, asked W.B. Du Bois for help writing the book, and W.B. Du Bois sent him to Carter G. Woodson.
Thank you, Baba. We also had a question on who was the Dover Eight? Various people.
The Dover Eight was a group of people who were inspired by Araminta and escaped the plantation with the help of a Black person, but that Black person ratted them out, and so they were sent to the jail. And once they escaped from there, they went to Harriet Tubman's father's house, and he helped them out. And then because the white people thought that, or found out kind of that he had an association with the Dover Eight, her dad was put in danger, and that's when she comes and gets him.
Can I say a little quick? I'll make it short, a little tidbit. A love story they didn't tell. Araminta's sister, you remember in the movie where she kept having scenes of her sister being sold away? All right. And that one of those sisters' name was Sophie. Sophie's daughter was Anne Marie. And Anne Marie, while on the plantation, she was growing up. And one of the people who became a part of the Dover Eight was named Thomas Eliot on another plantation. He loved him some Anne Marie, and he was determined to be free. So he was a part of that group, determined to go and get to Canada so he could get his Anne Marie. And he did.
And of course, no wonder Baba Ben helped him, right?
Oh yeah, that was already in the works.
All right. We had another question out here from Kennedy. She said, did Araminta's brother actually start to go the other way?
Um, the first I learned this a long time ago. I believe the first time Araminta tried to escape, um, she went with two of her brothers, and then they decided to go back in the middle of the night. So that time they all went back, and then the second time it was just her, and she made it all the way through. So if you count that, then yes. But after that, no one turned around and went the other way. I don't believe.
All right. Can I jump in?
Yes.
Your answer was great. Actually, I'm just adding to it. Your answer was absolutely perfect. I'm glad you have a wonderful memory. Okay. And the the movie, because movies try to press things together and they'll make composite characters, that kind of thing. That first time was not the first time she turned back. The first time that she came back, she went to Baltimore and she rescued her sister off the auction block. Okay, that was the first time. The first time she actually went to her home plantation was that time. So that part was right. Um, and that time we don't have any evidence that her brother was saying we're not going to go across the river, and y'all and I'm going to lead you. But I don't have any evidence of that at all. By the time she got back, I think her brother's very well trusted. Her.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we have another question from Robert Kessler. Did others who didn't have visions make it, and help others make it out of captivity?
Yes.
Mo. So you mean you don't have to have visions where God tells you to go left in order to make it?
Yes.
All right, great. All right, now I don't want to. We got some of the students are going to have to be leaving pretty soon. So, Baba, would you see if there are questions from Sister Tajiana's class before they, have to leave, and then we'll pick back up with the ones in the text chat.
All right, I got. Is it Mama Mahia?
Yes, Mahia.
Mahia, why did they want her dead or alive?
It's Mahia's right there.
Because she was becoming a threat to them. She was leading so many people to the north that it was almost like they were losing property in a way, and they wanted to keep their property. So they either wanted her back on the plantation, or they wanted her dead so that she wouldn't be able to do the things that she was doing anymore.
All right. Next question. What are resources that you have read or watched to differentiate between the true and false of Harriet's life story?
I have the two classes I've taken, the Countering Injector-Racial Scripts class and the Following Harriet Tubman class, Following Araminta, that's what it's called. Following Araminta class are the two classes that I've taken to learn this information. And then I've kind of just gone off what Adro Kessa and Mama Fia have taught me about her through the years, and stayed away from things that they said stay away from, and learned from things that they said learn from. Like we read parts of the book by Earl Conrad, so yeah, I didn't really differentiate between places. I kind of just stuck with what I learned.
Oh, God, you're so pretty.
All right, I got, did Harriet Tubman ever get caught? And what is the person's name who ratted them out? And do you know the names of, and do you know she of the Dover name? Oh, I guess they're asking, do you know any other Dover people's names? The first question was, did Harriet Tubman ever get caught?
Possibly. I'm not sure. All I know
No,
is okay.
no.
She didn't. Okay, then she didn't get caught. That's the answer.
There's no account of it.
Okay, so there's no account of her ever being caught. What was the second question? What was the name of the person who ratted the dope right out?
Yeah.
Question was from Christian. He wants to articulate it with his words. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Miss Mahia said, who was like the person who ran them out? You talked about him. You talked about him like escaping, and then he ran them out, and then they went to jail, something like that.
All right, let me say something about that. Is that all right, Ayodele?
Yes, I was gonna ask you for some help anyway.
Okay,
So.
okay. His name escapes me. He's a free African. So one of the things that had in the movie, just as John Tubman was free but living in Maryland, right? There were other Africans who were not in legal bondage and living in Maryland. And he was someone. I'll try to think of his name. I'll get it to the Village Method. I'm blocking on it now. He claimed to the people that he had known Araminta and he'd helped her before. And other people had helped her. One of the things that they don't show as much is they show Reverend Green, but they don't show other people who really were working with her on that path. And he was one of the people, or at least he claimed that he was. And so since Thomas Elliot knew of her and her escape, then he trusted and they trusted this man, okay? But even though he told on them, they were not to be denied, and was determined to be free and figured out how to do it. None of them got killed jumping over the window. And to my knowledge, even though in the movie they say one of them got caught and confessed, I actually didn't hear that. I haven't ever heard that one of the Dover Eight got caught and confessed. But that may be something that I missed, but I never heard that.
Oh, right. Got a question from Mama Mahia's class.
And we also have to get ready to go. The kids have to walk home, and it's getting dark now.
All right. Well, thank you very much for participating. We enjoyed seeing you here.
You all make sure you say the last question. Okay, the last question. We have one more pressing question. I apologize. Go ahead, Christian. What?
It was right there. Was the sister actually scared to escape?
Was the sister actually scared to escape to the north?
Rachel.
Okay. Let me take on that one. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Actually, Rachel wasn't afraid. All right. And in the movie, it wasn't a fear. One of the things that's important is we think that anybody who didn't go because they were afraid. Rachel didn't go because her two children were there in captivity. Okay. And the first thing she asked was, they've taken my child. Okay. And was telling Araminta, I'm not leaving without my child. Notice that Araminta's father said the same thing when Araminta came to get him the first time. He said, I'm not leaving this area until all of my children. Okay. And many Africans who actually broke free stayed in the area because they were still connected to their families. So Rachel's not leaving wasn't based on her fear. It was based on her not wanting to leave her two children, one of which you saw being rescued by Araminta in the movie, and the other one having been sold by a trader. Not a traitor, but a Trader, okay? A captor who was trading in Africans. Well, I want to say thank you to Brother Mark and Mama Mahia Gaskins and Sister Tatiana and all of the students at the Village Method. All right. Kennedy wanted to know before she leave, where are they? So tell us, where is your school? Where are you?
What state are we in?
What,
What city do we live in?
Union City, California. A stone's throw from the ocean. Okay. I mean, you can probably throw a rock to Santa Cruz, and you're right there in the Pacific Ocean. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. See you next time.
Adios.
All right. Do we have any other outstanding questions for Ayodele? All right. Then appreciations are in order. This is the Aya standard that Kibole Bole has adopted. We give appreciations for what we appreciated about what has gone on during this event.
I will start.
Well, I think that Kennedy, did you have a question?
My mom had a question.
Okay, I think there's one more question.
Okay.
Can you stand it?
Yes.
He said, why did the movie release a few days before Election Day and Thanksgiving? Is that like something? No. Is that something like happen on purpose?
I didn't know that. I didn't notice that at all.
Why?
It did.
Hey, I don't know. Could be. Could be. All right. Mama Fia, appreciations. I'm sorry. Be quiet.
I just want to say that's a good question. It's the kind of question we want to ponder. I wanted to be the first to step up and congratulate Sister Ayodele on a job well done, and to say how so proud we are of her at Aya Educational Institute. Ayo is one of our greatest students here. I don't know how long she's been with us. Too long to count. And I have just seen her grow and develop every year to just knock this out of the park. And so Ayodele, we don't take it lightly. We know of your seriousness. You know how much you put yourself into this, how much you care about our people and our story of Araminta, our Warrior Healer Builder story. Thank you for stepping up to tell it, for representing the youth, your age. Surely youth wanted to discuss this and think about it, and you stepped right in to do it. I so appreciate your leading your peers by leading yourself, to ponder all of this, to ask these hard questions, to not get a headache over it, and come up just really punching a winner and being the Warrior Healer Builder that you are yourself. So,
Thank you.
All right, well, I'm gonna jump in. I'm a father. I'm a father. I'm gonna jump in and say I appreciate, Ayodele, your finding the worth in this work. Okay, you finding a way to attempt to sustain yourself and sustain our people. At the time, I see how hard you work. You have monstrous capacity, and I've watched you develop that by pushing yourself. And I want to really, really appreciate the work you're getting support to put this together, and through getting sick, through having to travel outside the state and come back, did a great job.
Thank you.
I appreciate coming to this class and learning so much and getting to hear your presentation, Ayodele.
I appreciate Ayo just going through this, flowing naturally and amazing, doing so awesome, and learning about things that I never knew before about Araminta.
This is Deborah Watkins Ayodele from California, and I have sat here and just loved your presentation. I taught high school for 35 years. I am the founder and executive director of a Black Education Network, and I'm also the founder, one of the founders of the Black Students of California United, and the Village Method is one of our partners in the work here in California. And I was so excited when Baba Wakesa told me that a 13-year-old was going to be unpacking the movie. And you did a fabulous job. Congratulations. And I did make a donation to let you to not only encourage you to continue your what we call at a Black Education Network academic and cultural excellence, but also just to reward you for the time that it took for you to put together this presentation for your peers. So thank you very much. You did a great job.
Thank you.
I appreciate you going over the movie, and I appreciate learning a lot about Harriet Tubman. A lot of this I did
Can
not.
we lay our eyes on you? Are you going to deny us that blessing?
I don't think she can show her face on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Thank you.
And you did really good.
Thank you.
Well, I'll jump in there. Ayo, you did such a fabulous job. And you did a fabulous job, not just in the presentation, but in working through all those things, like your dad said, to get the presentation done, right? So proud of you for doing that. And then about your presentation, right? This is like for real, for real. The graphics you be choosing to go along with, I mean, they're that hotness. I'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean? And the way that the thought of the sort of the abstract, capturing the idea, but it's like a symbol almost. You know, you gotta show me how you do that. Mm-hmm.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Hello.
I just want to jump in and say I will be sharing this with more of my students. I have one that's here with me, and you caught his attention even though he didn't want it caught. Excellent presentation. Thank you so much. It means so much to have the peers of our youth address pertinent issues, and you did an excellent job. I appreciate that. I also have classes as Mama Yogi who are also acting as commissioners, young commissioners here in the area. And this is going on their assignment list to watch this video. And we'll be raising some money to send to you as well. Thank you again.
Thank you.
We'll have this video up soon on the Kibole Bole Educational Institute YouTube page. So look for it there.
Can we say something real quick?
Yes.
Please, I like the meeting. I like the meeting, and thank you for doing the meeting.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to say something. Okay, so definitely, Ayodele, you killed that presentation. I'm so happy for you. It is extremely inspiring to see that someone our age can do a great job without being like intimidated or extremely nervous or messing up in front of people that are older than you or know more or things of that nature. So I'm just so happy that I got to be here and experience this. Great job.
Thank you.
That's from another Aya student, Kamaria. Baba.
Hey, this is Baba Shindo. I am Jabea's Baba. I'm overwhelmed, sis. You did such a beautiful job. I'm so proud of you. I'm thankful for your two parents because I know you're a reflection of them, reflection of Baba Wakesa, Mama Afia. So you come from a strong village and you're representing them well. Just really proud of you, sister. You really conducted yourself well, articulated yourself beautifully. So just keep up that good work. You're being a great example to your peers and the adults. So keep it up, sis. Proud of you.
Thank you.
I'll hop in. This is Mama Camille. Yay, Ayodele! Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited for you. I'm just sitting here thinking about not only did you have this presentation, which is enough for an adult with a job to take full time to do, but you were doing this and still all of your schoolwork and your responsibilities in the community. So I'm just really mesmerized. And again, like with Kamaria said, I'm inspired because this is not your peak. This is just you like not even hitting full stride yet. So if this is how amazing you are at this stage, and I'm blown away here, I don't know what's gonna be. I'm just so looking forward to what else you're able to produce and create. And I'm looking forward to supporting you in that journey. So yes, big ups to you. Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to say, Ayodele. Great job. I appreciate your learning from following our mentor. I appreciate your jumping along with your Baba into the Harriet Tubman Warrior Hill Build a Story course, and your learning from the Guardian period, the counting injected racial scripts. And I think it was great that you centered your presentation around that, that you remembered and that you taught people that, as well as someone mentioned this, being able to present is one thing. To be able to present with your parents there and with people who taught you, and you're continuing your composure, asking for support, and also continuing with your, with what you know, is a tremendous sign of maturity. And I really, really am proud of you. If I were close, I'd give you the biggest bear hug in the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I guess I should go now. I appreciate everyone for coming. I appreciate everyone, Kennedy, Adra Kessa, my parents, for giving me support and doing this presentation, for telling me to not stress about like homework, and helping me to take care of myself through my sickness, because I was like sick half of the time doing this. Through the whole traveling to Tallahassee for hours, it seemed more than that, and still helping me to get this done, so that it could be as good as it was. And again, I thank all of you for coming, so that I could get this opportunity to present to you all and have a good experience and good learning experience as well.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate, if you have any other questions of me, I did a great job. Our presentation is done today. I told her after appreciations, we let her go and sit back and relax. If you have any questions of me, or that I doubt you've asked all your questions. But if you have anything left remaining, I'll answer any questions you have. Also, Kibola Bola Education Institute, which is the head of Kibola Bola Education Institute, is Mama Ayodele Duduyemi.
I just want to give a shout out to Kibola Bola Educational Institute. Of course, we always call Aya in regards to Ayodele. And I also want to say that we share her with Kibola Bola Educational Institute. We know that was her first school, and it's her continual school, because we know that y'all are her primary her learning directors. You were her first educators, and you're her learning directors. I do want to shout out to Kibola Bola Educational Institute to both Baba Bayoku and also Mama Evelyn, and also praise her for them both, the educators that they are, and thank you for educating also at Aya, as well as your own institute, Kibola Bola.
Thank you very much.
Mo.
All right, everybody. If you have no questions of me at this time, it was a pleasure presenting. It was a pleasure receiving and answering your questions. And I hope that everyone has a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.